When you look at the dating marketplace now, online dating to me just looks like a disaster for men. It just looks like a disaster. I honestly don't know as a man, because women get so much attention online and have so many options online, and like the dating apps, and they put the photos up and everyone's like, I can't imagine being a guy now, single, particularly in your 20s, and having to go online and pursue online dating. What do you tell guys to do? Like if they say, hey, listen, what do I do? Should I not be online dating? What do they do? Do they go old school and start meeting people in different ways, through friends, through like how it used to be? Or do they try to operate in this online dating world and play the game differently? Like what do they do?
Mm-hmm. First of all, I think women, from my experience, from asking women this, like, how would you rather be a pro? What's the last time you got, like, with your boyfriend? How did you meet your boyfriend, right? And 90% of them say, well, I met him through friends. I met him through a social group. I met him at a club. I met him like live, like in real time, right? And it's not that some of them haven't used like Tinder for hookups. But they don't make like real, they don't get boyfriends from Tinder. Very few of them anyways. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, it probably might, but so it's my experience anyways that women would prefer to be approached live in real time, right? Mm-hmm. Now that's like puts the fear of death into guys who have no practical experience making approaches like that. And so you'll get guys who are like looks maxers and say, well, it doesn't matter how good your game or your riz is. It just depends on how good you look. I'm like, well, then why aren't your fat ass in the gym, right? You know, you would think you'd be a personal trainer by now with that kind of mentality. And hey, please do go maximize yourself, maximize your potential. But I think what's funny is like the manosphere gets really a bad rap because a lot of people want to sort of straw man it so they can knock it down, saying like, oh, well, the manosphere complains too much about like online dating and everything like that. I'm like, well, so what you're saying is that the pickup artists had it right all along, and you should go out live in real time and go and actually like, approach women, right? So you're basically on board with what we've been saying for quite some time. But like Mike and I tend to agree with him, is really big on social circle game, very big on social proof and pre-selection, meeting women live in real time, meeting them at the clubs, meeting them in social situations, which is where women expressly say that they would prefer to be approached, or meet. Like 90% of the most beautiful women we have on the show, if they have a boyfriend, that boyfriend came through either meeting at like outside in the real world,
yeah.
Or they met through friends, or it was a social group that they had met them through. So if I'm going to give guys advice, just statistically speaking, if you look at like the numbers of men who are on Tinder versus the number of women who are on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble or whatever else, the odds are astronomically against you. You have much better odds in just like going out and taking matters into your own hands, and going out there and putting yourself out there. And are you going to get rejected? Yes, you are. Welcome to being a man. You're going to get rejected far more than you're going to get accepted. But you know what? With each rejection, you learn something new, and you're doing it live in real time. You're seeing facial expressions. You're hearing vocal intonations. Anything that is like completely off the books when it comes to like just like typing, something out on a profile or a connection between you and whoever. I'm not saying you can't go and get hookups with that, sure, but it's also based on perception. And one thing is like, if you're going to have like really good pictures, we teach guys how to maximize you curate their pictures on Instagram so that they have maximum effect. Instagram is really the number one dating site in the world right now. Because if you meet a woman at the clubs right now, it's not, can I get your number? It's follow me on Instagram.
Right.
So you can see how many followers you have, how well liked you are, and how cool you are, and if I want to hang out with you. You're cool enough for me to want to hang out with you. And and not only is it the girl that you're trying to get with, it's also her sister, her friends, her mom, everyone else is like, oh, do you think this guy's good enough? Do you think,
it's brutal.
Your Instagram is your resume as a guy. So, make sure that's, you've got a good profile that's already set up so that you're maximizing the perception that you're a quality guy. What
about a guy who doesn't want to be on social media? there's an appeal in that too. I understand in the modern world, it's very hard to just not have social media, right? Like ideally we could all say it's toxic to some degree, but it's hard to go that route. But what about the guy who is making the money, is busy, is good looking, and he just doesn't have a social? There's an appeal in that, I have to say, for women to be like, he's not even on social media. Like he's almost too cool for it. You know, he doesn't need it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. We've asked women this on the show too. Like if a guy doesn't have an Instagram, everybody's like, that's a red flag. He's like a serial killer.
Really? See, I don't feel that way. I feel like there's like because you know what? The truth of the matter is, to me, a lot of this TikTok and Instagram, there's something feminine about it. Unless you're using it, you have to be using it really well. There is something very feminine about posting the photos, and unless you're an entrepreneur and so you have to be showcasing something that you're doing. And for guys, it's a lot trickier because that thing can't just be like, oh, look at me, I'm pretty. You know, it has to be more than that, because there is guys going on TikTok and ranting about their bad dates. I mean, it's just, I could vomit. You know, it's not something that you can watch with the same stomach. You can watch a woman do that and we critique it. But when you see a guy do it, he kind of like turns into a woman in front of your eyes. You're like, wow, he just became a woman. So on Instagram, it's the same thing. If I see guys like posing, or if I see guys doing too much, it feminizes them to me. And sometimes for me, either the absence of the social, or social that's utilized to showcase a skill or show me that you're doing,
right,
rather than just looking, you know, and maybe that's part of what you're telling them to do, but that for me would be the key.
Well, the thing is if guys go, and Lord knows I get called out for this all the damn time. I'm at the point right now where I can't put a photo on Instagram or on Twitter without people thinking I'm like flexing on them. I just a quick story. I was with Fresh from Fresh and Fit last time I was in Miami, and I was going to go. We were going to do a podcast that night, and like, hey, let's get another picture of you, Rollo, because we got all the ones we have are kind of old, and we want to put you on the thumbnail, right? So I took a picture, and he shot me from the back of his Audi R8, right? And I'm just sitting there, you know, just hey, I'm going to be on Fresh and Fit, right? Right. I posted that picture, and everybody goes, oh man, he's showing off his wealth, his car, which he made from all his ill-gotten gains from his book sales and stuff like that. What a charlatan. And I'm just like, I'm at the point where I cannot put a picture up of my band, of me and the dog. I can't do that without people going, oh man, there's something really wrong. Boy, how feminine, right? I literally can't put a picture up.
Guys have to be careful. It's true. It's like it's a double standard, right? But it's true in a way. When men do that, it seems like it's vanity, right? Like you're gonna do duck face or something like. You know what's like? I'm trying to joke around and like do a Zoolander, you know, like just blue steel, you know, kind of thing, right. Like, and people just don't get the joke. They think that you're trying to be like a chick, right? And why is that? Because women can afford to be vain, men cannot. When men post pictures, just like you were saying, the most effective pictures that a guy can post on Instagram right now is doing something, like especially like lifting weight. Not too many lifting weights, one maybe, right? Because 2 or 3, that's vanity, and you think you look so good, man. You never skip leg day, you know, which I get all the time. No, if you're doing something, or you are in an exotic location by yourself, like you'll notice that the guys who curate their Instagrams, the guys who get the best effect are guys who like will go and they'll be with a motorcycle or a car or something like that, and there'll be no one around them, and it looks like they're in like Milan, right? Right.
Not Tivoli here in Las Vegas that looks like Milan, but you go there at 6 a.m. when no one's there, and you take a picture of just you on, you know, this staircase or something.
Oh, that's perfect, because then it's he's living the life. Where is he? He can afford to travel. Oh, he's got a little bad boy in him. He's got the bike. Oh, look, he's mysterious. Of course.
We're doing something. Yeah. Well, you could be doing something like. Anything that seems like sort of like conventionally masculine is always going to come off well, but you've got to be alone in the picture, right? Because women have to imagine themselves next to you walking down that staircase. Or
no. If there's somebody in the photo, then it's like, who's that?
You know, Florence or something like that. You know, there has to be sort of like this. It can't just be a good-looking guy. There has to be a narrative and a story behind it. Like the most successful male strippers don't just go up there and take off their clothes. You know what they do? They're the sexy fireman. Right. They're the sexy like attorney or the policeman or whatever it is. That there's always a narrative behind whatever it is that they're, when they're going and selling themselves.